Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, and I've got some cool and unique camp locations, yet again. What is this, like video number 6, I think? I don't know. I'm losing count, people. It's a whole bunch of unique camp locations so far. But this first one, got this little picnic area. Honestly wish there weren't so many picnic tables in your way. It'd be nice to have that flat building space for other things. You continue down, there's another little section right here. But I'm going to let you know, this isn't the cool part of this location. The cool part, you technically can't camp at, but it's right next door to this. Though this spot does have a first aid kit, so that is worth noting. But back there in the background, we're going to run over there, because this whole area is covered with one really long obstacle course. And honestly, it's pretty cool, and it can be a little challenging making it all the way to the end. And if you can make it to the end, which is that tower right there, a bobblehead should be in there, unless someone else has got it. Sadly, due to the marsupial mutation, I can't actually make it into that tower, because when I jump for the tower, I end up landing on top of it instead of in it. So, that's something to keep in mind. But over here we have another little picnic area for you. I'm not sure if one is better than the other. And this one does have a food container. But honestly, if you're camping here, I don't think you're camping for that. You're probably camping for this massive obstacle course. Because all along the obstacle course, attached to trees, you will find more first aid kits. So if you camp here, you get good at the obstacle course, run through it, loot all those first aid containers, get you some drugs. And it takes up a massive area all in here. So if you just head over towards this area, you're bound to run into it. You can't miss it. It's a big friggin' course. So hopefully you enjoyed that forest location. It is pretty unique. Now, let's head up to Toxic Valley, where I have not one, but two full houses, complete with interior. Honestly, it's pretty hard to top two houses. I mean, it's hard enough to find one house you can build at, let alone two. Now, I did show this location during one of my resource videos, so there is a resource nearby. I'll get to that a little bit later. But first, let's just start off with these houses, because between the two of them, there's a lot of stuff you can pick up to scrap. A lot. You can also pick up various little things for cooking, such as your salt and pepper, some whiskey, some spices, all that kind of good stuff. Now, mind you, a decent amount of floor space in pre-built houses is already wasted on furniture and that sort of thing. This place actually has a bunk bed and a regular bed, which is pretty cool. I just really wish I could find a house that looked good and was empty, so I could do with it whatever I wanted. But I think that's a lot to hope for. And then here with this second house, again, you got a decent amount going on. You do have the ash radiation corpse, whatever you call it, hanging out there. Kind of a downside, I guess. But in here, I mean, overall, the houses look pretty decent. I mean, we've definitely come across houses in way worse shape. And you do get a chemistry station in this house. A whole bunch of sugar. So hopefully you need sugar. Maybe some pork and beans, some Salisbury steak. I mean, decent amount going on with this house. Now, I should note that previous times that I've been here, I think blood bugs or just random stuff seemed to spawn inside the house. But when I came here this time to record the location, there was nothing here. So either another player passed through, killed the enemies, and then didn't loot anything, or occasionally you get lucky and nothing spawns. But then again, if the price of having 2 complete houses is the occasional enemy spawning in. Almost feel like that's worth it. Almost. It really depends on what your own personal preference is. But behind this house, you also have a small little tato farm going. So you get the chemistry workbench, you get some potatoes, you get 2 houses. And then when I run to the opposite side, there's a resource location here too. I mean, this location pretty much has you covered on hitting a little bit of all the bases. Now the resource you get here, this is concrete, which is useful, but I know it's not one of the most sought after resources. But if you place your camp just right, you should be able to get the concrete thing just in the edge, and you can kidnap one of the 2 houses, and then just loot the other one. But you'll find it right up here. It's also near a train station, ranking that pretty high in my book. Overall, I feel like that's one of the coolest spots that I've got so far. Alright, let's head down to the Ash Heap. Yeah, I remembered to say Ash Heap this week. I know, last week I almost said Toxic Valley. Would have screwed it all up. So this location, you can camp here, and you can't camp here at the same time. There's a sweet spot where you can drop your camp, and I'll show it to you near the end. But starting off, you do get this first aid trailer, which is pretty cool. So if you're going for more of a medical type character, and you want your camp to reflect that, I mean, if you can get over the fact that you got dead bodies at your camp, and you apparently were a horrible doctor, you just killed your patients. I mean, it happens from time to time, alright? And sometimes you don't succeed at operation, and you get the friggin' buzzer. Over here in this structure, though, that door is normally locked. It's a low-level lock, but if you can just hop on top of the house and fall through the roof. And in here, you've got several containers to loot, a decent amount of random junk, which is always nice. Gotta love any kind of junk you can pick up, especially when duct tape gets you some adhesive. I'm always running out of adhesive. I've always seemed to have a lot of it and run out of it. It's a struggle. There is a safe in here as well. Some ammo, a pipe rifle. Nothing too spectacular. But you do have that. Maybe you get a fusion core. Maybe you don't. Only time will tell. But overall, this spot was pretty cool. And there's your first aid kit as well. It was really weird. So I'm just running around the world, rocking out with my camp out, just running around, seeing where I can and can't put down a camp. I came across this spot. I went, well, I can't put my camp here, but I can put it here. Huh. So, if you place your camp back here in these bushes, it's kind of hidden. There it is. You can drop your camp back here, and it will adopt all the stuff in that radius. But if you try to drop your camp closer to these buildings, it won't let you. It wants no part of it. But I thought that was a neat little trick to adopt a location that most players would just go, oh, I can't place my camp here, and move on. So you'll find this right up here. You're right beside the workshop. You'd be hard-pressed to get much closer. So if you're looking for a spot that's pretty unique down in the ash heap, that should have you covered. And I'm quite surprised I even managed to get it to work. Now let's head over to the Savage Divide, where I have a lovely little shooting range for you. So if you're wanting to have a shooting range at your camp, this is your spot. Though honestly, I would like it if we could build all these types of targets and stuff at our camp. That way you can just build a shooting range wherever you're at. It'd be pretty cool. So the spot does have a couple pumpkins for you if you're looking to start a little pumpkin farm, or maybe you just want to make some pumpkin pie. But really, the location's all about the shooting range, because that is pretty cool. Not a whole lot here going on loot-wise. You got a couple gnomes, a moonshine jar. Nothing that you're going to write home about. But if you're wanting to loot some stuff, down at that next power pylon, there's some stuff to loot at the bottom of it. And then off here to the left, like say you walk down this hill and hook it to the left, there's a little cave down there with a dead Yaoguai and some other stuff you can pick up. Now, I'm sure you saw the fissure back there. That seems to be a dormant fissure. I haven't seen anything come out of it, but it's something to be aware of. There is a fissure down there. Alright, now let's head over to the mire. Now this is going to be right beside Harper's Ferry. So if you follow the train tracks over into the cliff, you want to make your way up on top of the cliff. And then if you run along the path that I'm going, you can have yourself a free pet. I'm sure some of you remember Murgle. I love Murgle. But this time you can have a free doggy. Now, I'm fairly certain a decent amount of people already know about this spot, but I hadn't covered it yet, so I need to make sure it got into the cool and unique camp locations. You also get a cooking station here and a dog bowl. Other than that, that's about all you're getting. But you're getting a free dog. And that alone is massive. A free pet is worth all the cooking stations in the world. Now you'll find this right up here near Harper's Ferry. So you'll follow the train tracks out towards where I'm going. And when you get to the train tracks over the river, there'll be a path that you can follow off to the right that will lead you up on top of the rocks. So if you're in the market for a free doggy, head on over here and enjoy your newfound pet. Now let's head down into the Cranberry Bog, where I've got a nice little, tiny little cave type thing going on. You got your free motorcycle outside. Now, sadly, this isn't a cave that you'd really be able to build into. It's just a real tiny cave. It does seem like rad roaches always spawn here, because I server hopped a few times to check this place out and try to get the time of day to change. Always rad roaches. But this location does have a first aid kit. You can find some plans here as well. Got your wood, ham radio. If you want a ham radio at your camp, it's got you. You also got a tent that you can loot and a duffel bag that you can loot. And plenty of bones laying around in case you need some bones. Again, not a whole lot going on there, but you can camp here if you would like. So that's going to wrap up all of my cool and unique camp locations for this week, and I will be returning again next week with even more. And we're getting up there, people. We've made it to a lot of locations so far. Let's see how far we can go. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.